text service. That's all brought to you by our friends at Coons Ford of Security Boulevard. This guy does it out there in Detroit each and every day. The co-host in the Jamie and Stoney on 97.1 The Ticket. You can follow him at Stoney16. He covers the Lions, talks about the Pistons and the Tigers and the Wolverines, all that other stuff that's going on out there. But most importantly, Michael Stone of Detroit, you are a Bruce Springsteen fan like me, and every Springsteen fan that comes over, we got to talk a little Bruce, and then we can get into football if you want to, right?
Absolutely. There's nothing better than talking Bruce, although E Street would be nice, but whatever.
Yeah, we do our best, man. I mean, there was a lot of good days with E Street. I don't know whether we're going there or not, but the Broadway show. I got tickets last month. I know you made it there last week. I have not shared observations with you because I don't like to green room my guest. Give me your thoughts on traveling to New York from Detroit now. I mean, from here, it feels like a $10 bus ride. I mean, it's a real journey for Bruce fans from around the country. There's been a whole national pilgrimage, and if you score tickets on a Thursday night, you find a flight into Newark as a part and parcel of all of that. But Bruce has been nice for that Irish bar across the street from the front door, too, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, yeah, coming from Detroit, had to do the weekend thing, so I got lucky. Went Friday, November 17th, with my college buddy who lives in Jersey, and seen him so many times. It was better than I thought it was going to be.
Really?
Yeah.
So you spent a lot of money but had low expectations, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, well, it wasn't that low expectations, but I thought it was going to be darker than it was, but I was actually humorous, and the way every song weaved into the stories made a lot of sense. I could have done without Patty for 2 songs, but I understood.
I love those songs. So I am, like you, probably not the world's biggest Patty fan, but I am the world's biggest Tunnel of Love fan. And when I think of Patty's involvement in all of that at that point in her life, and for her to do those 2 songs, which I love, look, there's so many Springsteen phases, and we can all talk about our favorite songs and our favorite non-recorded songs and B-list songs and old era and new era and the songs we like from The Rising and the songs we like from Born to Run. But I fell in love with Bruce during Tunnel of Love because I'm of that age. I was 19 or 20 when that album came out. I saw him for the first time at the Spectrum, and that was the beginning of this journey, over now 4 decades with him for me. So I love that part of it. Here's the part that I took, I don't want to say offense to, but I was a little disappointed. I'm really disappointed I read the book and then saw the show. Yeah, my wife didn't read the book, so I think my wife loved the show because she learned during the show. I only liked the show because I heard all the stories. I knew all of the stories, which was kind of disappointing to me, I think.
Yeah, it obviously was going to be similar, but it was just seeing him in that setting was just incredible, and I don't know. I loved it. I'm an older guy, older fan. So Tunnel of Love to me was it was great, but it was kind of the low light tour for me. Sorry to say that, but anyway, the show was really good. I mean, and what Bruce does for me, I reunite with old friends I don't get to see in a long time being here. So that was the beauty of it for me too.
Well, no doubt about it. He is Stoney16 out on Twitter. He has other interests outside of Bruce Springsteen and his family, and covers all things Detroit sports at 97.1 The Ticket out in Motown. All right, some thoughts about the Lions, man. I mean, that's a kick in the groin to lose on Thanksgiving in that fashion to that franchise when Aaron Rodgers and the Packers are not a factor. I don't know what that means. I don't know what the bounce back and the extra rest the Lions are going to have this week, but I do know that's a devastating loss.
It was a big loss. I mean, if they can't win this division, which now they can't because there's 3 games behind Minnesota, a division where, okay, Trubisky's a quarterback in Chicago, Rodgers gets hurt, and Minnesota is excelling with a third-string quarterback, basically. That's very disheartening. But it's the Lions. They do enough, and they've done enough since, they won a championship in 1957 to tease us. And they haven't beaten, Minnesota, when they beat them early in the season, that was like the first time they've beaten anybody with a winning record on the road in God knows how long, So that's the biggest problem. That's the fans have a problem with Stafford. Everybody likes Matthew Stafford, but until he, A, wins a playoff game if they get there again, or B, beats a really good team on the road in a big game, people are going to have reservations about him and this team.
Is this a really good team on the road in a big game in your mind? I mean, it's certainly a big game. I mean, lose this game, and it's probably all done for the Lions this year, right?
I would think, because even if they lose, their schedule's kind of favorable. They have at Tampa, the Bears, at Cincy, and then Green Bay. Who knows if Rodgers is going to play? So yeah, they could probably lose one more game and go 10-6 and maybe get in, but I'm not sure 10-6 will get them in. So yeah, this is a real, obviously it's a big game for you guys too, but it is a huge game, and this would be one of these games where, you know what, if you're the highest paid quarterback in the game, you got to take this team on your back. But it's not just Stafford. They can't run the ball. I mean, it's a joke. You know, when you look at guys like Kareem Hunt and Alvin Kamara that were sitting there, and the Lions opted to do nothing running back-wise. It's kind of disconcerting to the fans.
Well, and the signing of Ricky Wagner, which is, I guess, where the purple comes into this thing, right, was supposed to be part of that. And part of the whole – look, you have decent receivers. You got a quarterback that's making a lot of money that, is an upper-tier quarterback in this league. I don't want to use the elite word because we've heard that a little bit too much around here, as I'm sure you know. But in the case of running the football, they've tried everything to make the defense better, and they've tried everything to run the ball better, and it's always, going back to my boy Schwartzy coaching out there with all the Baltimore roots and the gaudy 10-1 electric slide boogie oogie going on in Philadelphia, that the Lions remain really similar to the way it's always been since Stafford got here, right?
Yeah, always. The last guy to rush for 100 yards with him was Reggie Bush Thanksgiving 4 years ago. Jim Caldwell, since he's been the head coach, and I don't think he's a real good head coach, but he's never had a guy rush for 100 yards in a game in 4 years. It's incredible. And Wagner, he's been okay. T.J. Lang, they've been okay. But they haven't been as good as we thought they were going to be. That's for damn sure. And defensively, they really miss your boy Haloti Ngata. He was, he came back from an injury last year, and he played pretty well last year. In the first 2 games, he was real good. He goes on the IR, and the run defense has not been the same since.
Trading Ndamukong Suh for Haloti Ngata, and I'm a big fan of Haloti Ngata from his time here and all the works that he did and what kind of person he is and his background, his parents. I mean, I've sat across talking rugby with him, and all of his passions and stuff. I that was a difficult divorce on this side, but I don't think the Ravens thought he had this much good football left in him, and at what price. I mean, that's always right player, right price is the Ozzie Newsome approach. But from the Detroit standpoint of swapping that out, I would think on your side of the fence, good riddance to him, let him go be South Florida's problem, right?
Yeah, exactly. And, Ngata plays well when he plays. The problem is he hasn't been healthy enough. Sue for that money, good riddance, basically. In Miami, you hear they want to either restructure or get rid of him, too, because they haven't won with him. You can't pay that much money to a defensive tackle.
Well, I mean, not that everybody in the world would have seen that restructure coming, right?
No, exactly.
He is Stoney16, and our friend Michael Stoney out there in Detroit, Motown, doing it for 97, won the ticket and getting the Lions ready to come in here. You watch Monday night's game, and the same as I watched Thursday afternoon's game over Turkey. Boy, the Ravens are a mess, right? I mean, defensively, probably good enough to win a Super Bowl. Special teams, certainly good enough to win a Super Bowl. Offensively, we're now at the point where even the quarterback after the game sort of kind of admits, like, hey, our job is kind of sort of not to screw it up because we can win this way, and it's better to win this way than trying to be cute and pretty and throwing the pick and getting the strip sack and fumbling the ball. And, punt is not such an awful play if all the rest of it can hold together. Now, I don't think you can go to New England or Pittsburgh and win that way in January, but they don't have to yet, at least.
No, I mean, well, look, you guys have been through this before, obviously. Flacco, when he won the Super Bowl, got hot at the right time, and then your first Super Bowl, you won with a quarterback who wasn't very good. It was all defense, too, so that's the way that is. I have a dog who's running away from me at home.
That's all right. You got to go get your dog.
Come here.
There you
I
go.
got him.
Yeah, you got him? All right, good.
Yeah, I got him.
Dogs, man.
I got him late, just like the Lions defense. She got the first down already.
Hey, very good, very good. Michael Stone joining us here. All of our programming brought to you by King Discount Liquors, lottery, beer, booze, and the best prices in Baltimore. Get on over to Rosedale and give the King a ring. Kid Paul King, he still doesn't have Facebook. By the way, I got to get over there to get some tequila and some Malbec. So let them know I need tequila and Malbec over at King Discount Liquors for the holidays. Box Hill Pizzeria have the best crab cakes in Norfolk County. Everybody knows that already. They can now be shipped anywhere. So you don't have to drive to Abingdon. You can ship them even to Detroit if you want to. BoxHillPizzeria.com. It's not really a pizzeria. It's more of a crab cakeria. You'll know what I'm talking about. You've been there before. Make sure you get the salad dressing to go. That is our favorite in our house. We pretty much exclusively because everything else we buy sucks, we get the dressing from Box Hill Pizzeria, so bring that home as well. Mike Stone's got his dog under control out there in Detroit at 97.1 The Ticket. You can follow him at Stoney16 out on Twitter as well. Who was the Lions' best player, Stoney?
Stafford.
And then after that?
Darius Slay. He has become almost a shutdown corner. And I'll have his hands full a little bit with Wallace because he's having a really good year for you guys, but Slay's been spectacular this season. And the other, I'd say the third best player is probably Clover Quinn, the safety. He's been really good too. The secondary has been very good. They have no pass rush, and that's why they just signed Dwight Freeney.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Dwight Freeney. Seeing what Suggs did on Monday night, and I've had a couple of conversations with Hall of Fame voters around here this week, that was kind of otherworldly. Like, I mean, I've been watching this from the beginning. You see Dwight Freeney and these guys kind of hanging on. Maybe they can get there on third down. Maybe once in a while they can get there. Dude's 35 here now and 15 years into doing this and long has, said goodbye to the Ed Reeds and the Ray Lewises. I'm blown away that he's doing it at this level this late.
He's unbelievable. You couple that with his great acting career in Ballers. I mean, come on. He's great. He really is a great player. And, I don't know the answers you do. Does he practice full time? Do they rest him during the week? Because he still has it at his age. It is amazing. He's great.
Well, not just that, but the injuries he's been through, too. And I don't think I've ever thought of him as a Hall of Famer. I thought of him as a guy who would probably not age well because of his size, because of the injuries. And then, we probably would say the same thing about Dwight Freeney a number of years ago, who slimmed down a little bit and has changed the way he's played, still has a job in 2017, right?
Yeah, well, we'll find out Sunday what he has left. It was weird. He gets cut by Seattle after a Monday night game, and then he's here. Some people thought he should have played on Thursday. Sorry, at his age, you don't play after 17 snaps on a Monday night on Thursday for the new team. You don't even know the plays.
Hey, how's the new hockey rink out there, man? I've asked everyone this week from Detroit. I had an affinity for the Joe. It was one of my favorite cool old places.
The new place, the sight lines are spectacular. The way it's steep, like old buildings, kind of like a little bit like the Bell Center in Montreal. The concourses are spectacular. You're not as cramped. It's beautiful. The problem is, and we're seeing it with the Pistons as well, people are spending a lot of money for these really good seats, and when they get the really good seats, they get this club with them, and people just hang out in the club. And you watch Wings games, and even more importantly, Piston games, you see them on TV. There's a lot of empty seats, and they're bright red, so they really show up bad on television.
It's fascinating you'd say that, dude, because you just led me into the biggest story in our city. And if you watch the game, and look, man, maybe there's been some Lions games where it's empty and the team's not been so good and late in the year and all that other stuff, but we didn't have a football team here for a decade and a half, and I know you know that, having been a little longer in the tooth than I, but, we had our team ripped out of here, and I'm trying to process all this, bro, you know what I mean? Like, as a guy who's done this for a quarter of a century on the radio, at one point taking more phone calls than anyone, in the history of Baltimore radio, quite frankly, I'm trying to process 30,000 empty seats on a Monday night when the Ravens have a chance to make the playoffs in a lot of ways. I mean, I know the offense sucks. I know the game's down everywhere. I know it was cold out. I know you got to get up early for work. But I also know the seats were bought, right? And it's one thing to see empty seats at a baseball ballpark where people aren't buying the tickets for whatever reason. But when you buy the tickets and there's 30,000 empty seats, that is... It's wildly alarming to me, and maybe I'm just the get-off-my-lawn guy that remembers my team not being here and having it taken away when I was 17 years old and having to wait till I get into my 30s to get a team back here again. But this has been a weird week, and it's something we're talking about around here. And then you got this new arena there where, the $500 seats, people don't even come to the seat. We see that all going on at Yankee Stadium behind home plate every time you watch a Yankees game, right?
Right. Well, I've gotten to the point where I used to sit and judge fan bases by how many people show up. But you know what? I think not so much in the NFL. Like, I can't believe there's that many empty seats at your place Monday night. But the average person, the way seats are, like upper bowl at the Red Wings games, probably the average ticket is probably still $75, $80. So if you go with a family, your wife and two kids, you're talking $300 before parking, eating, and all that. To see a sporting event that, quite frankly, now, especially when the team's not really good, now with, big screen HD, with the schlep downtown, it's like it's such a hassle going to games now especially for me as I get older, that you'd rather just sit at home.
Well, the other part of it is
big games, different stories. Middle of the week, like tomorrow, Wednesday, the Phoenix Suns are here to play the Pistons. Pistons coming off a great win Monday night in Boston. People are kind of excited. We're actually talking a little bit about the Pistons on Tuesday morning, which we don't even do that much because the NBA doesn't really exist because the Pistons have been so bad for so long. I don't expect more than 10, 11,000 people there on Wednesday night. If that.
Well, and it's a new facility, and people want to come down there and kiss the ring and buy some popcorn and a beer and see all the sights and all the beautiful, I'm sure, Bad Boys posters and Stanley Cup banners and bringing the teams together. All of that newness, we know what that's like at Comerica and Ford Field, and we know what that's like here in Baltimore through all of that. But then that wears off, and it's how much did I spend? And to your point, are you going to blow $300 on a Tuesday night to see the Winnipeg Jets? Maybe, but probably not twice.
Yeah, and that's why it's weird. It's like, as somebody who used to have season tickets to the Red Wings, I had season tickets to the Lions up until last year when they kept raising the prices and the product never got any better. I said, you know what? Any game I want to go to, I can buy, whether I have to go StubHub and go below face value, SeatGeek or any of those places, or regular, or if it's a huge game, I have to pay a little extra fine. But season tickets, unless you're a corporate person, it almost makes no sense anymore.
Well, certainly on the baseball side around here, we've seen that, where you can go anytime you want. Football wasn't like that around here, and the Red Wings weren't like that at the Joe either.
I know. Well, the people got spoiled 25 straight years making the playoffs. You bring up baseball, we're going to be you guys now. We're going to lose 100 games in the next 2 or 3 years, so...
We're going to be you guys. We're going to lose 100 games. We haven't lost 100 games here in a while. We're going to soon, though. I mean, just give it time. The old man will F it up. I promise you. It must have really have been nice there all those years, though, when Angelos is here effing up our franchise for now a quarter of a century, that you had like this sort of menschy pizza guy that just wanted to win. He was just the old guy that wanted to win. That must have been nice because there's not a whole lot of that left in sports where I just want to win.
Yeah,
right?
it was nice, and we appreciate it, but it was really foolhardily because he overpaid for so many players that he blew his budget out, and the Tigers never developed a really good farm system. And they got petty with Max Scherzer. They should have given him whatever he wanted, and he didn't, and he said, "Hell with you," and I left. And that's what turned the whole thing around.
And so did their World Series chances leave at that point, too. So.
Yeah, at least they went to 2 of them. We did have that.
Yeah, I'm sorry the Orioles beat you a couple years ago, but I'm not. I mean, I
understand. Hey, you're fortunate we had a rookie manager.
Buck left Britton at the end of the bench. That'll be his last move in the postseason as an Oriole manager. So, stew on that. And with that, I'll drop the mic on you, Stoney. Hey, man, great having you on. Great to visit with you. I hope to do it again sometime soon. And we don't get together too much. Like Orioles and Tigers, not so much. Lions, not so much. I hear a lot about the Pistons because Brian Billick's my business partner here on behalf of the Living Classrooms Foundation, and his son-in-law is part of this upstart Pistons mess over there. So
yeah, he's got to get off his injury, Mr. Lure. He doesn't play right. He's hurt.
Well, when he comes off, they'll be better at that point, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
Hey, great having you on, Mike. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks, Nestor. Have a great holiday.
My man Stoney16 out there on Twitter in Detroit for all things Springsteen and all things Motown sports. I didn't even get into Michigan or Michigan State or any of that stuff with him, but Stoney16 and 97.1, the ticket in Detroit. You can find me out on the buyatoyota.com audio vault 24 hours a day from anywhere in the world on your mobile device by downloading the TuneIn Radio app. We do come in crystal clear from wherever you happen to be. Our morning newspaper ships to your email inbox at 7 a.m. each and every morning. That is all brought to you by Planet Fitness, where it's $10 a month, no commitment ever. PlanetFitness.com. Our tech service for breaking news happens first. All brought to you by our friends at Coons Ford of Security Boulevard. The SSV, that's the Sunday Sports Voice, now heard on Thursday from 3 until 5. Dennis will drive you home and get you ready for the Lions and the Ravens on short rest this weekend. Of course, if any breaking news, you'll get that first on the WNST tech service. Nasty at WNST.net. That's the one email address I have for praise and criticism. I love praise. I endure criticism. I've heard it all. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, streaming live on our Facebook, as well as our YouTube WNSTV channel. I am Nestor. We are WNST.net, AM 1570 at WNST Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.